The big question this morning, will House Republicans move forward with impeaching Joe Biden for reaction? Let's welcome back in our Wednesday team, former Deputy Press Secretary at the White House, Hogan Gidley, and political analyst and best-selling author Mark Halperin. Good morning. Great to have you both back on. Hogan, here's Kevin McCarthy yesterday, making it pretty darn clear that impeachment is on the table.
So now you have the president saying one thing that we've proven is not true. You've got IRS whistleblowers saying something when it comes to government treating the Bidens different. You've got an informant claiming that the Biden family had been bribed. Should you ignore that, or you should investigate that? The only way you can investigate that is through an impeachment inquiry, so the committee would have the power to get all the documents that they would need.
All right, so Hogan, first, I'm wondering if you think House Republicans move forward here, and then let's play it out. So Republicans have, they have a majority in the House, but it's tight. And by my count, right around 25 of these Republicans are in blue and or purple districts, and they're all back on the ballot 16 months from today in November 2024. If they want to win, I don't know how they vote for impeaching a Democratic president. What do you think about that? Would they move forward even if they don't have the votes in the House?
A lot of ifs, a lot of questions in there, Rob. Listen, politically, I'm not sure if it's the best move for some of those Democrats, obviously, in those districts to vote against their president. But at the same time, this evidence is mounting in a way that they never could prove any of these things against Donald Trump. These are serious issues for Joe Biden. And if the Republicans continue to do this the right way, and as I've said a long time, pull on that Hunter Biden thread, it becomes a Joe Biden investigation. That's what it is. And in order to investigate this president, you're going to need to move forward with an impeachment inquiry. And I would argue it's going to be unavoidable for the Republicans in Congress. Moving into an election year, you've got some serious questions about the sitting president of the United States, the bribery, the scandals, the profiting off of foreign nations, all problems. Not just politically, but also personally with legal troubles they could face in the future. And so I think they're going to move forward with it. But I think they're going to have to put a little bit more evidence on the table, because the media is never going to give the same level of cover. And they're not going to want to move forward with impeachment with the same amount of fervor they did with Donald Trump, because it is a Democrat and someone they love and want to protect. So they're going to have to get some more evidence here, but it looks like it's moving in that direction.
Yeah, think about the coverage, Mark, that the media gave when it was President Trump. I mean, think about the coverage they're giving him now, all the negative press. So I wonder, could this hurt Republicans in the long run by going forward with this impeachment inquiry?
Well, it could. I mean, I'd be curious to know what you all think about the two impeachments of President Trump and whether those were good politically for either side or a wash. Not really clear to me. Look, there's going to be politics in it.
Is that a question, Mark? Are you asking?
It is. I'm taking over the show.
Okay.
Joining me now to talk about the.
Will you bring me in? Because I've got a response to that.
I don't have the experience you guys
What's
have.
the answer?
Bring me in.
Tell me.
So here's my thought on this whole thing, and the milquetoast answer, Hogan. It's not. Look, they did it to Republicans twice, really weak, particularly the Zelensky phone call, the perfect phone call.
Did it hurt the Democrats or help them?
Payback, it hurt the Democrats. More importantly, it hurt the country. All right, it hurt the country. And if we're going to live in this country now, Mark, where a new sheriff is in town in the Oval Office and the opposing party impeaches that, and we just do that back and forth from here on out, that's not good for the country. But payback is a you-know-what. And I think Democrats have had this coming, and I think Republicans have the goods. I think they really have the goods on something that might be bigger than Watergate here when it comes to not Hunter Biden, Joe Biden. So I say Republicans do it, and I say those Republicans that are in blue or purple districts, I say, look, you got to take one for the team here and move forward if they have the goods. Chuck Grassley was on with Greta last night, and I want to know, are we going to hear these audio recordings? Are we going to hear these recordings? These are all questions we need answered, but I think Kevin McCarthy is very close.
It seems to me the two allegations that are out there that haven't been proven that would rise to the level of impeachment and removal. One would be if they interfered in the Justice Department investigation into Hunter after not appointing an independent special counsel. And then second is if Joe Biden secretly profited directly by getting money from Hunter's business dealings that he helped set up from places like Ukraine and China. If either of those two things are true, both suspected, both alleged, if either of those are true, I think there's an argument that it would rise to the level of impeachment. But as you said, neither of those is proven yet.
Yeah, I wonder, because we've heard from Congressman Comer, we've heard from a lot of people saying that they have information, they have evidence, but the line from a lot of Democrats is there's nothing here, there's no evidence. Here's what a Democratic congresswoman had to say about that.
There is no evidence of any wrongdoing by the president. And Mr. McCarthy knows that. This is everything in upside down, because the former president, who was so corrupt and crude and base, engaged in such criminal activity, now we're going to try to deflect.
Hogan, how long is that going to work? I mean, depending on what we get, what we see, what we hear.
Well, until the media can't cover for them anymore. There's 0 minutes being given to this serious topic. In fact, I know someone high up in Trump world, their in-laws had no idea Hunter Biden had a laptop that had all this information on it. They didn't know about Joe Biden. They didn't know about the shell corporations. They didn't know about the WhatsApp message. They didn't know about the FARA violations, because they're not hearing it anywhere else. And of course, once they found out, they were quite upset. Remember, had the laptop been proven true, 14 to 17% of the American people say they would have voted differently in the last election.
Yeah.
So it's all
good point.
about what the media covers and how they decide to cover it. Right now, they've continued to ignore this and listen to congresswomen like that, who, with all due respect, is a buffoon.
Yeah.
She has no idea what she's talking about when she says there's no evidence. It's mounting every single day. She can say it's not real. She can say she doesn't believe it. But there's plenty of evidence out there right now that, if corroborated, is a serious problem for Joe Biden and his family.
Yeah, certain media outlets didn't cover it last week's IRS whistleblower testimony. They didn't cover it at all. And then it was unbelievable.
Mark,
Which
just
is
one
weird, which is weird, because I was told under good authority that whistleblowers were the saviors of this country. They were the defenders of democracy.
Not if they help
should be
Republicans.
heralded in every
Not if they help
turn.
Republicans. Mark, we are very super tight. 10 seconds. Let's say the impeachment proceedings happen. Okay, after my question, you have 10 seconds. Not during the question. So Congress is on recess, August recess. David Weiss. So he's the guy who got Hunter Biden the sweetheart deal. He's going to testify. Would impeachment proceedings start after that? Or before?
I'll use half of my 10 seconds to point out you used 25 seconds in asking me the question.
Mark, I'm in New York right now. It's called a New York Minute. In a New York Minute.
I think Weiss is key, and I would be surprised if impeachment proceedings began before they heard.
So that means after.
And probably
that means after.
Garland.
Mark, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, great stuff. Thank you. Mark, we lose you at 8 o'clock. We gain Rick Gates. We're going to miss you. We'll pick this up again Friday. Hogan, we'll do this again at the top of the hour. Looking forward to it. Thank you both. Let's